Hey, my name's Bonnie, streaming from Awabakal and Warramai Land, and this is The Good Stuff on Newcastle Live.
This is
Good.
good stuff.
The Good Stuff.
Welcome to a brand new era of The Good Stuff. We'll be coming to you weekday afternoons from 4 p.m. across multiple platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. You can also catch us on the podcast or live stream via the Newcastle Live website or app. Coming up on the show today, we'll be joined by the high-achieving local muso, Georgie Winchester. We'll tell you about a lucky Mount Hutton resident, and we'll find out how you can get tickets to see Jimmy Reese here in Newcastle. But first, it's time to find out what's happening around Newcastle and the Hunter tonight.
This is where it sounds good.
Good stuff.
Australian guitar virtuoso Tommy Emmanuel hit the stage at the Civic Theatre tonight. It's the first time Tommy has played in Newcastle in over 4 years. Temple of the Stag, Newcastle's very own 90s grunge-inspired jam night, will take over the Stag and Hunter once again tonight. If you're keen to play a few numbers, make sure you get there at 8 p.m. so you can get your name down. And there are a stack of trivia events happening around the region tonight, including a Harry Potter-themed event at Hotel Ellamore. To keep up to date with everything happening around the region this week, hit newcastlelive.com.au.
Newcastle Live. Newcastle Live.
At the end of last week, we posted about a lucky woman from Mount Hutton who claimed a $1 million lotto ticket after being unclaimed for 2 years. For the entire 2 years, she held on to the ticket and only checked it last Monday at Pharmacy for Less in Mount Hutton. The good news for the rest of us is that there are currently 22 unclaimed Division 1 and majority lottery prizes across Australia worth over $16 million. So check your tickets. To find out more about the local winner, be sure to head to newcastlelive.com.au or check out the Facebook page to find out what everyone's talking about. The good stuff. Georgie Winchester is a local singer-songwriter, front person of Turpentine Baby Chino, sound engineer, podcast creator, and mentor. Basically, she can do everything and has done a bit of everything and over-delivered in everything that she has already done. So Georgie has just released the title track from her forthcoming debut album, Follow the Sound. So it's my pleasure to welcome to The Good Stuff, Georgie Winchester. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Bonnie.
So before we chat about the new music, I'd like to talk a little bit about the Gumball Festival. You were involved in so many different aspects of this festival. You were in Dashville Progress Society. You were a mentor as part of the Young Gum. So how was this festival for you?
Well, second year being a mentor, amazing. We love the kids because you just see them grow from whatever their skills are, and then they develop and all of a sudden they're on stage and performing in front of everyone and everyone loves it. So it's a bit of a tearjerker, that one. And this year I also held my own vocal lesson.
Oh my gosh. Have you ever taught singing before?
No, I've taught piano. But I just literally taught them everything I know about vocals and just like the practical stuff. I'm not really into like, this is the larynx and this is this body part. I'm more into like, we are gigging, this is what you need to do and what you need to know and practical things. So it was really fun to just share that. And then we went around the circle and I was like, what did you guys learn? And then they all told me something different that they learned. And I was like, yes, I love this. And then before our performance, they were like, come on, let's do some vocal warm-ups that you taught us. And I was like, oh, you want to do that? Okay, great, let's go. So it was really cute. And then, the DPS band, they just invited me to be in it. And I was like, oh my God, you want me to be in it? Like,
Latest edition. How does it feel to be a part of that family now?
Yeah, because they are so iconic. And I was like, really, you really want me? I just did backup vocals, bit of harmonica where I could, and then did the egg shakers and stuff. So it was so, great being up there. Especially with Loretta and Liz. It was iconic for me. And I really want to come back next year if they invite me.
Yeah.
But they gifted me a harmonica before the show. They were like, here, you're in the DPS, and then gave me a harmonica. And I was like, oh, so lovely. They're
So wholesome.
great people. Yeah.
What key is the harmonica in?
It was in a G.
It was in a G?
Which I don't have. I have a D and an A.
Perfect.
So it's a G now. Yeah.
What's the main harmonica that you use?
I use D because, that's what I use in 3 songs off my album, Sad People, Friends with the Flies, and then Safe and Sound.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's good for my cover shows, though, because I can just play a lot of... If it's in G, I'm like, yep, I'm on the harmonica, let's go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So you've just released the title track from your debut album called Follow the Sound. Can you tell us a little bit about the inspiration for this song?
Yeah, so I don't want to make it too long of a story, but it is a long story, but I'll try and keep it short. I got invited to go to Into the Wild Festival up in Boban. Went up there. It was really fun because it felt really grassroots and like a really strong community. They got burnt out by the fires, so they're all friends and really supportive, and it's a strong community. So after my show, there was all these other bands. There was a drum circle late into the night. In the morning, like everyone had bacon and eggs and just cooking for everyone. It was just like super homely and family. And after my act, I sold heaps of merch, like all these CDs, and everyone like, can you sign them? And it was the first time that had ever happened. And I was like, oh my God, people actually liked my original music. And I was like, maybe I could actually go forward and take this seriously, like record an album, do a Georgie Winchester tour, get some like PR and interviews and stuff about it, because before this I never really took it seriously. So late at night after the gig, I was sitting in a van with a couple of other women, and it was kind of like smoke and candles vibe, and this lady had lived in her van, and we were talking about my career, and she said, Georgie, if you just follow the music, it's going to take you where you need to go. And I was like, oh my God, I love this. This is so inspirational. I mean, people listening or yourself, like when people say stuff, it like means a lot more to you, and then you tell someone else and it doesn't mean anything. But to me, when they said that, it just meant so much. And I was like, I'm doing this. I'm going to record an album. I'm getting my stuff out there, and I'm going to do it seriously. So that's the title track, Follow the Sound. And then I ended up just doing the whole album to be called Follow the Sound. Yeah.
So you would have captured some major life moments when you were writing this album, right? Can you tell us about some of the concepts that we can expect?
Yeah, definitely. Like, it's so funny to look back on, because it is the best songs from the past 3 years that I've written. So we've got, the first one's Follow the Sound, you know what that's about. And then the second one's Sad People, and that was when I couldn't talk and I had to get my tonsils removed and have the surgery and everything, and that was huge. That was 3 months of not talking. I had to stop gigging, and I wrote that song. It was actually based around the song Driver's License, because I really wanted to sing that song, but I couldn't even talk. So I was like, oh, I want to make a song like that. And that song had come out at the time. So if you listen to both songs, there's a lot of similarities. It's a different key and different chords sometimes, but just check out the chord progression. But,
Copyright laws. Watch out.
Yeah. No, it's very
Should be
different,
right.
but you can, it's nice to like look at it, because that song literally got me through. And then the next one is Friends with the Flies. That's already been released. Everyone knows what that's about.
Oh, can we talk about Friends with the Flies for a second? Because it's my favourite.
Oh,
and
really?
Yeah.
Oh.
I adore it. You're so
that.
vulnerable in the lyrics.
Yeah,
and
too.
it's just a really beautiful song. And even when you released that little 7 seconds of the Spotify short, which you can go see on Spotify, you should check it out. That was enough to make me go, oh, so cute.
Yeah.
So please tell us about that song again, because it's just gorgeous.
Dad is Buddhist, and he's very wise, I reckon. Anyway, so when we grew up on a farm, and he was always like giving us great advice and stuff. And when I wrote this song, we were actually selling my childhood farm. And so it was so sad for me, because I'd just grown up there and all my memories were there, and it was the place where I could escape to when things got really busy in the city or like something was going wrong.
Yeah.
And it was a combination of that and my parents as well. So we were walking up the back paddock when I was younger in high school, and I was asking Dad for some advice or something, and he said to me, oh, side note, there's a lot of flies at the farm, so everyone's just like swatting them all day, and all the visitors are like, oh my God, there's so many flies, but I never realised them because I grew up there, so I don't recognise it. Anyway, so Dad said, when he was giving me advice, he said, Georgie, all of our problems, they're like flies. Try and be friends with the flies because they're always going to be there. And so I just remember that for like 10 years. And then when we were selling the farm, I just remembered that bit of advice, and I was like, oh, this is so sad. And I'm feeling all the emotions. I'm just going to write a song. And then that phrase kind of came out, and that song, just developed like that. And it was after Gumball actually last year, and I'd met Carla Geneve.
Yeah.
And her songs were amazing, and she did like a lot of her vocals follow the guitar patterns. Mm-hmm. And so that's what I did as well with Friends of the Flies. I tried to follow that. Like, da-da-da-da. Like, the guitar really follows the vocals. So, it is a really special song, and I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd love to talk about a really special moment that happened earlier this year on International Women's Day. You supported Claire Bowditch as part of the live music Lake Mac, and it was truly just a magical night. Can you tell us how that experience was for you?
Yeah, that was so great. Definitely one of the best shows I've ever done. It was so unexpected as well. Like, to be honest, I didn't know who Claire Bowditch was. I researched her, and it was like she's written this book, ex-Triple J host, amazing songwriter, lives in Melbourne. And I was like, oh, this is actually going to be awesome.
Yeah.
And then I got there, and there was like a green room, and they gave all this food and stuff. And we went back after the show, and like we're eating all like the cheese platter and pizza and everything, which was so fun. And Claire was amazing. And there was 200 and something people in the audience.
Yeah.
250?
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Did you take anything in particular from that night other than it being a fantastic show?
Well, yeah, obviously being a woman was like a very strong theme, and it was really great having you there because, I don't know, it was like two Newcastle people just like celebrating women, and Claire as well was talking about it, and I just felt like united between us three, actually. Yeah, one of the highlights was literally having you there.
Aww.
And like watching you present and just, like being in it together. Yeah.
That's sweet.
That was my highlight.
That's so cute. That's not what I was expecting
Oh,
you to
really?
say.
What
No.
were you expecting?
I don't know. Not that.
Oh.
All right, back to you, please. You have a huge tour coming up. You're about to head off. It starts on the 11th of May. What are some highlights? Because you have over 20 dates that are booked in, and you'll be heading to Tassie, Western Australia. Of course, you'll be going through Newcastle. What excites you most about this tour?
Well, I wanted to go to Tasmania and Western Australia. I love travelling, and I just want to travel, and being able to play music as well is such a great bonus, and I'm literally living the dream. And when I'm like, I want to do that, I'm like, I just will do that because I can. So I'm focusing on Tassie because I've never been there, and I want to do new things, new adventures, meet new people, meet new booking agents, go to the venues, meet the artists in the local area, go to the open mics, do busking, and just experience new things because I get bored kind of easily. Anyway, so yeah, Tassie, that's 2 weeks. I'm so excited, and Gabe's coming with me. We're going to do duo shows everywhere. And then I was like, I want to go to WA. I feel like it's calling me.
Yeah. Have you ever been there before?
Never. So I'm like, WA's calling me, and I was talking about it for a year, and I hate talking about stuff and then not pulling through. So I was like, oh man, I just got to do it. So I just booked my flights. I'm flying over 13th of July, and I'm going to come back for Gabe's birthday on the 12th. So I'm flying back home on the 11th. And then I've hired a fun as heck van. And although it's a bit more expensive, I just wanted to be really comfortable and like actually have a holiday.
Yeah.
And then I can just play gigs as well and explore, you know? So that's kind of the main priority. And then I'm really excited to come back home and then play my album launch, which will be at the Junkyard with Dave Wells Band and Kingsley James. Yeah.
Georgie, you're an absolute weapon. What would you like everyone who's watching to do to support you?
Well, probably priority is to go onto Spotify and follow me / stream. Oh, the biggest thing actually is probably order a vinyl.
Yeah.
So I've got pre-orders happening. They're $60 and I can drop them. And it's just my album, but I really spent time on the design and I'm a bougie bitch and I went all the way. So I got a designer in a sleeve.
Yeah, cool.
And I'm really excited. They're kind of like based off one of Carl Janine's albums / Neil Young mushed together.
Beautiful.
So, yeah, a woman named Jasmine who did Dave Wells's albums is designing them. Well, I've designed them, but she's putting them in the template. It's very confusing and complicated. But yeah, and I'm getting them done by Zenith and I've ordered 100 and I've already got a few pre-sales. I'm so excited.
Yeah. Limited edition. I reckon they'll fly off.
Literally. And I think at the Junkyard, people will buy them as well. Yeah.
Something to think on.
Or come to a show. Come to one of my shows. I've got thousands of shows booked, so surely you can make it to one.
Yeah. All right, Georgie. Well, thank you so much. And a huge congratulations on this brand new single. I cannot wait to hear the rest of the album. And best of luck on the tour.
Thank you so much for having me, guys.
Good.
One of the most exciting things we shared on Newcastle Live today was the news that Jimmy Reese will be in Newcastle as part of his national tour this September. Whether you know him as Jimmy Giggle or the guy who decides things on YouTube and TikTok, this is going to be one of the hottest tickets in town. Pre-sale kicked off at 2 p.m. today for Frontier Touring members, but for everyone else, you'll have to wait till Wednesday to get your hands on tickets, including VIP packages where you get to meet Jimmy yourself. To find out more, head to newcastlelive.com.au.
Good.
That's it for the very first episode of this brand new era of The Good Stuff. We'd love to say a big thank you to Georgie Winchester for joining us today. Be sure to go and check her out on the socials, grab a vinyl, and see her live at the Grand Junkyard Hotel in Maitland. Don't forget to hit the Newcastle live stream tonight from 5 p.m. for the Newcastle Live and Local Music Show. Tonight we'll be having a chat with local muso Cormac Grand and playing all local music. Coming up tomorrow, we'll be joined by comedian Sammy J, who will be here in Newcastle next week. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. for more of The Good Stuff.